So another tough loss here for the New York Mets. And this team, it just seems like the same old, same old. Once again this season, Jacob Degrom, he goes out there and throws a gem. 8 innings, 14 strikeouts in this one. His only hiccup was in the first inning where Chaz Chisholm Jr. hit a solo homer off him. But besides that, Jacob Degrom lights out rest of the ball game. But the Mets, they just couldn't score in this ball game once again. And this season, as a Met fan, I thought this hitting would be pretty good. But so far, the first 4 out of 5 games this season, the hitting hasn't really shown up, in my opinion, for this club. They got lucky the other day winning on the hit by a pitch where Conforto stuck his elbow out. But honestly, the Marlins, they could have took the 2 games of this series. And Trevor Rogers, pretty much a nobody. He goes right through this Met lineup early and often and easy in this one. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. The Mets, they had opportunities early in this ball game, but once again, they just couldn't drive anyone in. And this team, I know it's only game 6 of the season tomorrow, but they're in big trouble right now. Rojas, he's not making the right moves, and he's overthinking things as well, I believe, with the statistics and the analytics. Just go out there and go with your gut. Nowadays, these guys, they go too much with the analytics and the stats when you just go out there and put your best ball players on the field. And Jonathan VR, he's been pretty bad as a fill-in, as E. Davis went on the IL early in the day with a hand contusion. So this team, they're falling apart, and they're in trouble now here. And tomorrow, they got to win this ball game here versus the Miami Marlins. I know it's early in the season, but to go and lose 2 out of 3 to Miami, that coming into the series was 1-5, is not a good feeling. And like I said, the Mets got lucky the other day. They squeaked it out, but this team's just not hitting, and they might have to shake up things up sooner than later here, because you got your ace on the mound in Degrom, and he pitches one of the best games you're going to see. 8 innings, 14 strikeouts of 1-run ball, and you can't get him a run on the board or anything. And then Familia comes in. You know, it is what it is with Familia at this point. Finally, it's the last year of his contract. He gets hit around a little, and this team just no life once again in this ball game here versus the Marlins. And the Marlins, their bullpen came in, 3 relievers from the 6th inning on, and they shut this Met team down in this ball game. So the Mets hitting, they got to figure something out, and these guys aren't hitting. Francisco Lindor so far, he's been a pretty much a disappointment, but good thing he signed the contract, because if he didn't, I think the fans would get on him even more right now if he didn't sign. But now he's got the contract, and maybe he's pressing a little bit to do a little too much for this team. Pete Alonso, he was quiet in this ball game. The only guy who really did decent was Brandon Nimmo, who hit a double in this ball game. But besides that, not much was going on for this Met lineup or this Met offense, and they were at a standstill. And once again, the bullpen didn't pitch good, giving up 2 runs in only an inning of work with. Jacob Degrom, pretty much he has to do it all. And it don't surprise me once again that they couldn't score even versus no one really. And Trevor Rogers, who went out there and he looked like an ace for this Marlins team. So the Marlins, we know the deal with Met fans over the years. They just have the Mets number for whatever reason. And once again here today, they had the Mets number and they put the bats down early and often. And this was a quick ball game, this Met and Marlin game, for the most part. Both teams, they really couldn't hit the baseball, but the Mets especially in this one. And they got to get back on it tomorrow and try to win this ball game and take 2 out of 3, even though it's not the prettiest 2 out of 3 if they win it tomorrow after game 1 of this series. But this team, if they continue to play like this, they're going to be down early and often in this division. I know the Phillies lost last night's ball game, but the Phillies, they're already 5-2. The Mets are 2-3 here, so they're 2.5, 3 games out because of the games they got to make up with Washington. And Washington, they're a decent ball club as well. Atlanta, you know they're going to be good. Ronald Acuna, he's already off to a big start. So right here, it's very disappointing. And to go out there and not even score a run once again for Degrom, it's pretty predictable, but it's also frustrating as well when a guy goes out there and gives it his all and they can't do nothing for him. So the Mets lose another tough one here, where Degrom goes 8 innings, 14 strikeouts. They lose it 3-0, and tomorrow they got to get it together and try to win this ball game to win the series.